Welcome to Is Franchising Right for You? With your host, Rick Morgin. Through each episode, we'll demystify preconceived notions about franchising, both entrepreneurs franchising and those buying a franchise. You can find this show on all the major platforms, including YouTube, LinkedIn, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Now here's the host of Is Franchising Right for You? Rick Morgin.
Welcome, Bailey. Welcome, Bailey Rayner. And it's a privilege and an honor to have you a guest on my podcast. I started this middle of November and have had some very interesting guests from franchisors, clients who have become franchisees, people from legal, finance, and then also consultants too. And I started this because I wanted to, of course, help my business and help my client's business, but it's really to help an audience who is interested in franchising learn about franchising through stories. Mm-hmm. And first of all, I wanted to say that last Friday I had lunch with one of our favorite franchisees, Laura Garrett.
Yep.
And I met her husband Matt for the first time too. It was the first time we actually met in person.
Oh, nice.
But I feel you have a wonderful story to tell, because we've known each other for almost a couple of years. That's really the start of our expo season a couple of years ago. You were just getting started with the franchise consulting company as a franchisor partner. And then in 2 short years, you've exploded. Number 3, congratulations.
Thank you.
But your career has really evolved and what I like Painter Bros, period, but you have a story to tell, because you're not only are you with an executive with a company, but you're a franchise owner.
Yep.
Were you a franchise owner before you even got into this corporate role of leadership?
No. I was exploring owning a franchise like pretty early on with it. I was quite interested in being a franchise owner, but it was probably 6 months into working for Painter Bros that I ended up buying a franchise.
When I show Painter Bros to clients, I like to talk about the culture of Painter Bros, what I know about it. I'm not immersed in the organization or the franchise, but I do it based on our interaction with you, with the founder, Zach, and the clients that I've placed. Mm-hmm. Because I think that's important. I think that's what clients are looking for is a great culture, something they fit in, that they feel a part of, because they may be leaving another family of that corporate world.
Right.
And so what I do is I'll show the video of your last annual conference to show.
That's a good example of our culture.
Yeah,
Laura, but a lot of fun.
Laura said, "My God, within the first couple of hours, she was already snorkeling," and that was pretty amazing for her.
Yeah.
So there are a ton of painting franchises, but Painter Bros does so much more different. I mean, it's not just the exterior of residential and commercial and national accounts, but a lot of other services in the interior and different parts of the building. Can you kind of help people understand that?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. There's a lot of painting franchises out there, a lot of painting companies, and most of the companies we're all fighting over, one small piece of the pie with painting projects. And our whole thing was, okay, I want more pie. How do I get out there? And so, you're doing your residential interior, exterior repaints and cabinets and epoxy flooring and all that good stuff. And then you get into the commercial work and the national accounts. And so our main differentiator from us and other painting franchises is going to be the national accounts, where we are direct painting contractors with Fortune 500 companies. And so most everybody, they're right here, right? And this is kind of the ceiling that they're at, but there's more above it. And so we wanted to help our franchisees get more, right? Don't more pie, no ceilings. That's what we're all about. And so that's, I would say we focus pretty heavily on all of your repaints, but you have facility maintenance and all sorts of other types of projects, different types of painting projects and industries that you can be a part of, if that makes sense. So
That makes sense, and it ties right into Laura's experience. I mean, she became a franchisee in October of 23, and she already has, through your commercial project manager, this office building, I believe, or apartment building.
yeah, she yep.
And she's also going to start an extra space storage next week. And she bid on a Versace building.
Oh, that's exciting. I don't get to hear all the fun stuff that they get a bid out on, so that's really great.
Yeah,
But yeah, her first project awarded was a national account project.
Yeah.
And she got out there and she called me while she was there. And she's like, okay, I'm here. Tell me what to do. And so I'm walking her through some of the things. And because of where it was located, it's like, all right, you got to look into permits and look into, swing stages and lifts. And she's like, great. And so her bid was like totally spot on because she just followed every single direction. And yeah, that's an opportunity that I don't think any other painting franchise or service-based franchise gives their people, where it's like, hey, congrats on starting and here you go.
Right.
Yeah. A huge project to do.
So it's, another reason for this podcast is to give the listeners really the down low of Painter Bros and what makes them different, what makes them attractive, and and your story as part of that, because you're definitely a catalyst of this tremendous growth. Yeah, it was funny. Her husband was talking about, here I am in my corporate office, and an hour later, I'm helping her measure the floor of this Walmart, which they're hoping to hear the answer on the bid.
Like any day now, we're just like on pins and needles, just waiting to hear which ones we get. So, yeah.
Yes. So it's, you can tell me if I'm off base, but when I introduce Painter Bros to a candidate, I talk about how over the years, since they started, they've gone in and prepared markets for franchisees. And a lot of that has to do with the national account. So a franchisee comes into a new territory and there's national account business. That's available revenue for them. They can accept it or not. The corporate office helps them manage the national accounts, which allows them to focus on their local territory.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so one of the ways that Painter Bros was built was to take care of these national customers, and in order to build that up, you have to have coverage. You have to build your company nationwide first. And yeah, you pre-develop the markets and plug franchisees in. So when they come in, okay, they're right there. They're the boots on the ground immediately taking care of these customers. So Painter Bros was started a little bit different than a typical franchise because of the way that we wanted it to be built, right? You don't franchise and then build into national accounts because that's really tough to do. So you got to build up your customer base and then plug people in to take care of those customers.
I see. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it's different than, you guys had a vision years ago, and it's different than, I've got a successful painting company, let me franchise it, versus
exactly,
let me develop the marketplace so that I can plug people into existing business and potentially more business. We'll help them manage that, and then they can grow their local territory and scale it to whatever they want.
Exactly. Yep. Very different.
So, and Painter Bros is reasonable it's got a reasonable entry point, right? 175.
Yeah, I mean, it's about 100,000 per territory. I mean, that's probably going to be going up a little bit, but I can't imagine too much more, right? Yeah. But just with the customer base that we have, I still feel like it's pretty reasonable because you don't have a brick and mortar. You're not buying tons of vans and, vehicles. You're not buying a whole bunch of paint equipment like a lot of the other service brands have you do. So yeah, we're able to keep costs a lot lower so franchisees can be profitable a lot quicker.
Right, right. You teach them who to contact to get the right equipment, right? If they're doing a big job, whether it's a national account or a multi-unit apartment complex.
Yep.
You've got, I believe you've got a list of contractors that preferred contractors that they can work with in markets, or they can choose their own.
Correct.
So this is tremendous infrastructure already set up.
Yep.
With Painter Bros.
Yeah. Yeah,
What
that's probably the best way to look at it. That's what I let people know. The best way to look at how we franchised was we franchised infrastructure. We specialize in painting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, right. If you happen to paint.
Yep. Exactly.
You built this business, you got infrastructure, you've got relationships with Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies,
Yep.
and we happen to make money by painting.
Exactly. Yep.
So one thing I noticed about the candidates I placed with your company is that the common thread was that they were just wide open to explore.
Yeah.
They did not have any preconceived ideas, and they didn't develop those very quickly when they started to explore different franchises.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's something about the experience that they went through when Laura went to Salt Lake City.
Mm-hmm.
Stefan, I'm not sure if he went to Salt Lake City or you came out to him, but the experience of the business, kind of like training almost before you're a franchisee in that type of discovery day, that's what clicked. And people have to be, I'm finding, and maybe hopefully you're finding, that they come in with this whiteboard, eyes wide open attitude, they'll get it.
Yeah. No, I mean, my whole thing is if I'm going to bring somebody on into our business, I want them to be successful. So I'm very transparent. And my personality is to teach and educate people along the way. So yeah, they get a lot of information up front. And I'd say for the most part, people, when they're coming to talk to me, they are pretty open to just hearing and learning about it. But I would say a lot of folks will do maybe the same thing that I did, where it's like, oh, painting, like I don't want to work for a painting company, because you're right. It's not a very appealing business. It's not a sexy business, right? But making money is pretty nice. Having a very successful business is pretty nice. And so I would say when people come in and they talk with me, they get a very different idea and understanding of what it is we do, and what Painter Bros is. So yeah, I know I like to educate them. And you're right, when they come out for Discovery Day, which is optional, we actually don't do it too often because I feel like I'm pretty transparent with people along the whole way in my process with them. But when they do come out, it is like a high level overview of what to expect and how to run your business. And I think it really helps them.
I can guess, I can imagine what helps is that you've got skin in the game.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not like you're talking from training, discovery days, interaction with your candidates, but you're running a Painter Bros business, a successful one. So if you want to ask any questions, they should go right to you.
Yeah, no, I think that's very true. I think you run into a lot of people that when they're being approached about a franchise, they're just kind of being sold something, where I have skin in the game on multiple levels, being a partner, with the franchising company. We have the software company, and I also own a Painter Bros franchise. I have a lot of vested interest in people's success, and I can relate very well to the struggles that come with owning a franchise.
So the software company you guys own, that's an important piece, because that is your entire business platform that the franchisees can see and do everything that they want to do to understand where the business is going, what they need to do, and manage the customer relationships.
Yeah, so I actually worked with Painter Bros for about 6 months before coming over here because of the software. I did software development. Yeah. So they were a customer of mine. and I was working on integrating into their system when I was approached, by Zach, who's like, "Hey, you seem to know a lot more than what everybody believes. I need my software built, and I need my company like taken to the next level." And so, yeah, the software, it's a beast. It's definitely my baby, because
Right.
I jumped into it pretty early on, and yeah, our franchisees use it. You're right; it does pretty much everything that they need to do. So when other franchises have 6 different platforms to use, ours is one. It
So
does
you
everything.
see, now I'm getting when we would correspond about our candidates in the process, and I just finished a software meeting. Now I get it. That's your baby. That's what you're controlling.
Software, yeah.
Right, right.
Yep.
You're the architect and developer. Well, that's
Mhm.
amazing. That's amazing that you're so multi-talented and not just being part of the leadership team that is going to grow this Painter Bros company to whatever heights that you are. Where do you guys want to be in 5 years?
Oh,
Retired on the beach or what? No, or
yes.
number one.
That sounds lovely. Either on a beach or on a river fishing, somewhere
Ah,
with
okay.
water. Yeah, very outdoorsy. I guess what is really awesome about the industry, the technology, and I'll just say Zach is very innovative, is where we expect it to be in 5 years. Um, there's just so much more that's like coming into fruition, which is really exciting because now the software company is going to be growing to another level, and the
Yeah.
franchise company is growing to another level that we never really expected it to grow to. So, yeah, I mean, in 5 years, I plan on relaxing, kind of,
Yeah,
for a
yeah. I
little bit,
mean,
but Painter Bros will definitely be, we're expecting to have several hundred
over 100.
franchisees,
Yeah.
and by that time the business is going to be running just fine. We have a really great team of people already that we're bringing on, and that will get it, I think, running very smoothly in 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, you continue on this growth path, and you continue to develop your infrastructure
Yeah.
that will allow you and Zach as leaders of this organization to kind of be like
Just
chairperson.
That's what I would
Your
that's what
thing.
I would think. I don't think I ever want to not be involved,
Yeah.
but I'm definitely not going to be doing sales forever. But
Yeah.
I love my franchisees and I love to see them successful, and you do build relationships with them. And so, yeah, I would like to still be involved with Painter Bros and the growth and the process.
So
Yeah.
here's an idea for a different type of discovery day in your process: is take your candidates on a fishing trip.
That would be so fun.
Spend
I
a half
would
a
be
day in the
all
office,
about that.
a few hours in the field, and then okay, we're gonna finish up with half a day out in a river somewhere. And uh,
I like where your head's going. I like that.
if you don't catch a fish, that's okay. It's not mean you're not going to be accepted, but you
Yeah,
want to out there on the boat.
that's the determining factor if you can catch a fish or not. No, I wouldn't even do that. I go fishing and I love it. It's very calming, but I go out with zero expectation to catch a fish. But if I
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
great. Then I'm all about it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because it's first of all, you get to unplug.
Yeah,
Basically, you're out there in the quiet. You're dealing with your own thoughts and feelings and excitement of trying to catch a fish. But if you don't, it's okay.
that's okay. Yep,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like that idea. I'll mention it to Zach. I think he'll be fine with that one too.
So if you ever do a consultant educational day, that could be part of it too.
Oh, that would be fun. We were talking about that. I mean, you've got like a ton of rivers. We got the Provo River right here. I like river fishing.
Mhm.
And then we have so many different little lakes and reservoirs and all that just right around here. So yeah, very outdoorsy. I mean, I'm from Idaho, so I'm a very outdoorsy person. I just do it in high heels mostly.
Well, that's talent in itself.
I can rough up if needed.
That's great. Well, I mean, is there anything that we haven't talked about Painter Bros that you wanted to mention that we can explore before we wrap up?
I would say that as far as Painter Bros goes, type of people we touched on a little bit with culture and the type of franchisees. I mean, we really do look for the high level individuals that maybe they have come from corporate America or they do run their own businesses, but they're not going to be the ones that are going out and doing the sales themselves or doing the painting themselves or hiring a team, they're running a team. And yeah, we do want the people that want to make money, that want to scale a business. And culture is really important to us. And one of the really amazing things with our concept, the way that our brand works is national accounts, yes, but teaching franchisees how to also run national accounts themselves.
Mm-hmm.
When that happens, they're relying on each other all over the country, right? Because Laura might be in Florida, but she's going to call John over in Colorado to do a project. And so it is really important to be able to build, a close community and a really successful culture for that reason. So I don't know, there's a lot of stuff going on, man. We just bidding out on all these big national projects. We're getting awarded. I haven't even told you guys all the things that were just awarded. On Friday, we're coming back from the conference and sitting on an airplane. And there's projects we bid out a year ago that we're now getting awarded. It's like, buckle up. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of really, really great things that are happening with us specifically. So.
Well, if this is going to reach any of your franchisees, and I hope they're listening, you heard it from Bailey. Buckle up. Get ready. Get ready for a huge 2024 and beyond, because as she stated, stuff they bid on for a year ago are just now happening and will happen.
Yep.
Well, Bailey, I appreciate and want to thank you for your time. It's been fun speaking with you and on my podcast. And again, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you too. You're one of my favorites.
Well, thank you. Yeah, same here. You're one of my favorite, or if not the favorite, franchise developer and executive. See, I can't leave out executive at all.
I like that. I think I'm going to start throwing that in there. I don't even have that title, but I'm going to take it.
Run with it. Yeah. Well, you are. I mean, you are. You are definitely part of the leadership. So you are an executive of that team. That's in my opinion. And if anybody wants to challenge me, they can call me.
Oh, I'll make sure. Yeah, they know they're going to lose if they try and challenge you.
Yeah. Thank you, Bailey.
Thank you.
You've been tuning into Is Franchising Right for You? With your host, Rick Morgin. You can find more episodes on all the major platforms, including YouTube, LinkedIn, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Thank you for your positive reviews, comments, questions, and for sharing this show with others.